What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Lou Streets. I am back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the potential future of Mortal Kombat 1 coming to a halt. Now, we don't know if this is valid or not, but I have seen this circulating around Twitter today. I want to reference a Twitter account from a guy named Interloco. He says, according to Fate Unknown, responding to a video of his in a thread, Kombat Pack 3 is not coming. So let me open this up. Verified insider, it is not coming. Is there ever going to be a Kombat Pack 3 then? Person says no. Fate says no, right? So let's go down and check out some more of this tweet, because this is all kind of loosely been floating around. Let's scroll down some more. I believe there's more response to this. Where do we have this here? Here it is. Okay. So now he's saying this. Fate Unknown said recently, Chaos Reign sold poorly, and because of that, Kombat Pack 3 and a second story expansion were planned. All canceled recently. No more characters after Kombat Pack 2. A cameo or two might make it since there has been work done on them, but I don't know yet. But he's saying definitively that Kombat Pack 3 is a wrap, right? So I'm assuming that's been floating out and getting around somewhere, because Boon responded to this. I'm gonna go to this tweet that Sikander shared as well. It says, so Sikander ends up saying, either the boss at NetherRealm Studios, who's been funded enough to say this for the 15th time, is lying, or the insider Fate Unknown is lying. I don't believe Fate Unknown at this time, and I believe that a lot of the things that Fate have said has came to fruition, so that's kind of what's stirring up some of this controversy. But Ed says, love the fact that there is excitement for our next game, and I don't want to be a stickler for words, but we haven't been working on our next game for 3 years already. The actual quote was that we knew what our next game was going to be 3 years ago. NetherRealm is still fully committed to supporting Mortal Kombat 1 for a long time to come. Now, the only reason that this is shocking to read is because obviously we all know that Mortal Kombat 1 had a horrific launch. I mean, it was just bad. It was like looking back on where the game is at now versus where it's been over the past, what is this? This is November, so about roughly 13 to 14 months, somewhere in that ballpark. But pretty much where the game was when it released versus where it's at now, much better place. And even you guys know, I took my fair share of shots at Mortal Kombat 1, but I have enjoyed the new expansion since Ghostfaces came into the game. I didn't really play a lot of Chaos Reigns. I know it sold poorly. It was pretty much being sold as a separate game when it was really just an expansion. But we had the 3 new characters in there. But Ghostface has been really, really fun. Like, I really enjoyed Ghostface. No, not 3 characters. Sorry, 4 characters. Because we had Noob Saibot, Cyrax, Sector, and now Ghostfaces came out. So the ironic part of this all is that I really enjoyed the game since Ghostfaces got here. And it's pretty much excited me to play other characters as well. So I think this is a sign of things going in the right direction. The game has got better. It does feel a lot more fun. I still think that cameos being the cornerstone of the game does hurt the longevity of it. But for Kombat Pack 3 to not be supported, it's kind of shocking, because I mean, we're only a year in and it was 6 characters in total. So you were pretty much like 75% through with your Kombat Pack and DLC run, right? So in order to make things rev back up, you would have to bring some more excitement, because I mean, we're only a year in, and I would assume you would want the game to last at least 3 to 4 years. And then the other side of that is that if this game doesn't get supported to a Kombat Pack 3 and have more expansion going on, what's the next game going to be? Because based on the debacle of this launch, there's no way that the next game can be another Mortal Kombat game, right? It pretty much has to be Injustice 3 or some untitled thing that we don't see coming. I don't think it could be Mortal Kombat again. Like, my theory is, it's going into 2025. This game will have been out for a year. If this game is lucky enough to last 3 years, then that puts us around 2026-ish, 27-ish, right around where the next game should be announced or at least launched, right? So let's say that game does decent. That's another 3 to 4 years of that game's life cycle, if that's Injustice 3 or something else. So then I feel like we won't really get another quality Mortal Kombat game or even opportunity for announcement of a Mortal Kombat game until like 2030. Really, 2029 would be being favorable. Probably 2030 for real. So I hope that this isn't true, but at the same time, because I don't really love Mortal Kombat 1, I don't dislike it as much as I used to, maybe say like 2 months ago. But because I don't love Mortal Kombat 1, and there's only so much wiggle room that they can adjust the game with, it makes me look forward to another Mortal Kombat title, but I just don't see us getting that for at least 5.5 to 6 years minimum, and that's assuming that the game that they come out with next is successful and lasts 3 to 4 years, which will probably be Injustice 3 or something else. If they were to double down and come with a third Mortal Kombat game in a row, that would be amazing, but that game would have to feel like real legitimate Mortal Kombat, because I think it's pretty obvious at this point, this is an Injustice game reskinned in Mortal Kombat, and I think that's why I didn't do well. And then you combine that with just all the launch issues. Like, the game has a lot of quality of life things now that are much better, but I mean, as far as when the game launched, it was just bad. Like just looking back on it, it was like unexplainably bad. Like, it was no reason. Mortal Kombat 1 should have never came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reality is, if they wanted to come with another Mortal Kombat game, they could have pushed it back a year, did what they need to do to make it dope, and it could be coming out right around now, or even just being announced right around now. Because the reality is, it did need to come out with Tekken, and it did need to come out around the same timeline as Tekken and Street Fighter, because that's ultimate competition while you're releasing your worst product. I know some people still say that they like this game better, Mortal Kombat 11, but I think from a product perspective and just from a launch and sales and reputation and so on, Mortal Kombat 11 blew this game out the water, because at least it was able to stand on its own. This game was hanging on by a thread, and they're starting to save it, and we have MK loyalists who are going to play it. But as far as like a competitive scene, tournaments, all those things, it's not really popping like that. I mean, like, you got the hardcore players that'll play. And even like when I was having the conversation with Ninja Killer, he was pretty much saying like these guys play for the sake of the money that's involved in it. But even with that, it's only so much money being put up. So I mean, just from an overall reputation perspective, sales perspective, the way that the game's been received, this has pretty much been a flop by every stretch of the imagination, especially when you compare it to Mortal Kombat 11. So if this game isn't getting Kombat Pack 3 and isn't getting supported going forward, are you guys okay with that? Because that would essentially mean we've spent about roughly $120 to $130 on Mortal Kombat 1 with the bad launch, then with Chaos Reigns and the DLC that we got. If that's the end of the game, I mean, that it's only like 14 months. So if that's the end of the game, that would be pretty underwhelming, and that seems like it would be too good to be true as far as the game being that short. But on the flip side, if you're not getting the proper support that you need or the proper player base to represent the game online to the capacity that you need and put more money into it, I can see it being a realistic possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Kombat Pack 3 don't come, that would be pretty disappointing, especially, and the irony of it is that Ghostface is fun. So like, Ghostface has given me enough hope that now I'm going to come back to the game and play it. I'm going to go back and check out characters that I didn't play in the past. Like, Ghostface has made the game fun enough, and the current state of the game is good enough where it's playable, but the past reputation of it for the past year, that could probably hurt them in the long run as far as like building up the DLC and stuff like that. So the reason I wanted to point out this particular tweet is because I don't think Ed Boon would lie. It would be messed up if he just lied, right? Like, I don't think he would lie, and I would hope that this is true, but it's not unrealistic to think that Kombat Pack 3 might not come and that the DLC might not have a better another expansion, because the game hasn't been received too well. I think the tides are turning, but sometimes it's too little too late. So the point of me pointing out this video was just, I wanted to see if you guys felt the same way. Personally, I got mixed feelings on it, right? Because I'm starting to enjoy the game again, so I would like to see it continue to grow. Plus, I don't never have negative feelings around Mortal Kombat. I always want Mortal Kombat to be great and continue on. But I think that a better version of a real Mortal Kombat game would just do us all better. I don't want this game to necessarily die, and I definitely don't feel about it the way I felt about it 2 months ago. But I only think that there's only so much saving to be done. Like, the ceiling can only go so high. I think if we had Mortal Kombat 11 and a half, like just a better version of Mortal Kombat, whatever that looks like to them, I think if we had like a better version of that game, that would be like the ultimate apex for a great Mortal Kombat game. But I don't realistically see that. I don't realistically see that happening until at least late 2029 or 2030. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you believe that this is true? Do you believe that Fate Unknown is correct with some of his other predictions in the past that have came to fruition? Do you believe that Kombat Pack 3 is getting canceled and it's not happening? Or do you believe what Ed Boon is saying, which I feel like that we all kind of gotta err on the side of Ed Boon because he's an official voice. But I mean, we did see, they talked a lot about communication and consistency. When Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't received well, the dev team went quiet for quite some time. They started to come back around as some of the criticism got slowed down just a bit, but I don't know if you guys remember at launch, we didn't hear from Ed Boon and the team a whole lot, so it leaves a little bit of wiggle room for us to wonder, is Fate right, or is Ed Boon telling us the truth? I'm very curious to see how this plays out, but what do you guys think in the comments? Should we get a Kombat Pack 3? Should we get DLC expansion? Or should they just let this game die? Let me know what you guys think. Till next time, it's your boy Lou Streets. I'm out. Peace. Why do you do that so recklessly? Stop it. Doing that shit no more.